Welcome to Floating Leaf Tea Podcast. My name is Guan.
And I'm Noah.
Today, we are gonna drink a tea that I call revisiting. Well, actually, nah.
You call this tea revisiting?
I call the tea old growth Anxi Guan. And just find a moment to revisit the tea.
I think this is the third time we've revisited this tea so far since we've been doing the podcast.
Only third time?
I think the third time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, I think since we got this batch in, maybe roughly in March or April, and we drank it once at a time.
Yeah, we actually drank it right towards the end of the fundamentals of tea sessions.
Oh. And then today I just feel like revisit the tea. I wish I can drink a lot of teas each day because I love revisiting teas. But I think I'll get too high if I revisit a lot of teas each day. So unfortunately, we can only revisit sometimes, I would say 1 tea or 2, and sometimes
usually 2.
Forget about it. Well, I won't call the morning and afternoon practice teas as revisiting.
Because those are teas that we drink like consistently every day.
Yes.
And so it's revisiting daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a blast from the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think revisiting is we actually don't drink it enough and then have to come back to the tea and see if the tea is changing, if the tea is still okay, etc., etc. The teas that we drink in the morning and afternoon, it's more of a practice tea. Yeah. So anyway, let's see. I remember when we do this tea in the fundamentals, the tea already shift a lot from the original batch, which is still the same tea. It's just the tea changed in a really big way.
So the first thing I noticed from the scent is that it's got that kind of yeasty, bready, fermented note in there. And it feels more consolidated, and there's a warmth.
Then the tea that they say that we got last year, exactly the same tea last year, it felt brighter, more creamy, more rock cream. It feels really, really clear. And right now, as Noah mentioned, it become into almost a darker, yeasty kind of a feeling, more fruity, I would say. And in a way, lack of a better word, and maybe that's what Noah was saying, I feel is sharper. But in the sharpness, of course, you can say then there's a focus, which what Noah said is consolidating. You know, I think in tea sometimes it's hard to describe, and words can be meaningful. It can be misleading, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I say sharp, some people say, "Oh, wow, that's bad." I don't think sharp is bad. When it's balanced, it's beautiful. I think I started to get this tea in 2017. Yeah, 2017. 2018, we got it again. And then, consistently, when we run out of tea, we get the tea in. And this year, 2020, when we got the tea in April, it's the first time I watched this tea change dramatically.
Yeah, it's the first major change.
Yeah. Before, when it's 2017, 2018, 19, it was all like, oh wow, that's the same. That's the same tea. And this one, you can still see it's the same tea, but it shifted. And this is a tea that first time that I will see a tea age this much, Yeah, super fun. And the tea become richer in the broth. The milk kind of a feeling, which is not like your cow milk or, sheep milk that you are drinking is rock. It's from nature, rock. Kind of milk, more shows up in aftertaste nowadays rather than in the taste. Anything changed? I changed the brewing a little bit.
The very first thing I noticed is that the broth hits harder.
The second infusion?
Yeah, the second infusion.
Okay.
As soon as it hits my tongue, it hits harder. I don't know if it has more capacity to spread in the second infusion than it did in the first, but it definitely is following that kind of heavier approach as it goes throughout my jaw. Start to salivate a little bit more heavily. The throat, I feel the impression in my throat a little bit more weight also. And then it has the, as it hits my shoulders and goes out, it has the drive to hit all the way to my fingertips.
Excellent. Well, I don't know if it's excellent.
It feels good. It feels good.
And then the third one, I will reverse it back to the first infusion again and see if you notice the major difference. And what do you like better? Kind of just plain with the brewing.
In the first infusion, everything felt more billowy and softer.
So I think the second infusion, the question might came a little bit too abrupt. So I just snapshot this one. And then fourth infusion, I'm going to do it like the second infusion.
Okay.
And then I think this one, maybe your mind is more prepared to hopefully to see the differences. So what I'm doing differently is just 注水, pouring hot water into the teapot. The thickness of the water stream is different. That's all what I was doing. I did this is because this tea, since we got it in 2017, and then including we went to take a class in 2018, it's considered to be a brighter light tea, and Mr. Light prefer maybe us to do the higher string water pouring style for this tea. And he talked about other teas with different temperaments, the way to pour in hot water should be different. But I feel a little bit confused right now with this specific one. Is it a light tea anymore? Well, it's not a dark tea either. It's like in between right now. So maybe just play it out in the session. I do like to play with my tea, and maybe today the session, just to let the audience maybe know that I don't do tea a very specific way. I do tea a specific way, the way that I like, but I do tweak a little bit, sometimes according to my mood. And today I had a question with this tea. So I'm going to just play with it a little bit. And it's not like playing with like, oh, let's brew in different teapots. Let's brew in different tea utensils. It's exactly the same tea and the same pot of tea I'm brewing. I'm just tweaking a little bit between infusions and stuff. And which if you are listening at this Monday that we just published this, then the next day, please join us on our live sessions. We're going to play with our tea just in that specific terms, I guess, the specific, just one thing, water stream. Do you call it water stream?
Sure, yeah,
sure.
Sounds good.
注水. I don't know how to say it in English. Waterfall. Okay. The moment that the tea kettle's water hit your teapot.
Yeah.
That moment. Yeah.
Yeah, pouring water from the kettle.
Yeah, pouring water from. Here you go. Pouring, more白话文, pouring water into your kettle. The stream of the water will play a difference in the tea result. And it's kind of fun, you know. There's so many variances and but still at the same time, no precision, by the way.
So I'm going to admit something.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't paying close attention to how you were pouring the water the first, the second, or even the third time after you told me that you're going to do something different.
Oh. Oh, great.
Yeah. But I was only paying attention to what was happening in my mouth and in my body.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The first and the third time, it felt like it showed up more restricted to the mouth only.
Restricted, okay.
And there was definitely kind of a reverberance through the rest of the body. But and there was a nice puffiness in the mouth that I didn't feel so clearly on the second infusion.
True.
That was
Correct.
the biggest difference that I felt
agree.
in my mouth. The biggest difference that I felt in my body was in the second infusion. It was like the tea was able to spread out further. That's why I mentioned that my fingertips, I actually didn't feel that very strongly in the third infusion.
Okay.
I felt that kind of sensation of the tea kind of completing its structure through the body in the second infusion the most. But it was like it had pressure behind it. Whereas the first infusion, it felt more natural. The third infusion felt more restricted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see the fourth one, how it's going to play out. And right now, in a way, I think one time is not enough to have a scientific result. But it's kind of fun to watch, and maybe we'll do more and try to figure out then with this different style of water pouring, which one we like a little bit better for this tea. I think after all, within the context of playing with your tea, the reason why you play, and I was consider playing as figuring out as well. If you don't go out of the box, you don't figure out other methods and other ways. So I consider playing as a way of figuring out. Then within the playing, I think what we are trying to look for is the maximum capacity of the tea to the tea drinker. And it come back and forth. What is your maximum capacity of the tea brewer? You know, so yeah, that's it. So let's see this one. So I just pour hot water into the teapot in the fourth infusion. I on purpose do the stream a little bit thicker and lower. Yeah, I didn't leave the tea kettle as high. So those I'll call it the longer stream style of pouring into the teapot. And I seriously invite you guys to join us on Tuesday. If you can, just watch the video on Facebook. It should be on there. And I bet if nothing goes wrong, Instagram should stay on there too. Just watch the stream, what I'm saying. I think verbally it will be harder for me to express that. You guys will just watch it. Then it will be very obvious. Then you can play that at home too. And since we talk about fundamentals in tea tasting, we break it down for you guys. At the same time, I'm practicing fundamentals of tea brewing, and I actually have not break it down of what that is yet for people, and not sure if I want to break it down. But water pouring for me is one of the biggest parts of the fundamentals when it comes to a technique. I think actually multiple teachers confirm that maybe it's one of the most crucial moments of tea brewing when it comes to a technique. Yeah. What do you feel? Lower pouring? Do you feel it goes into the body a little bit more now?
I feel it more in my shoulders.
Yeah. More connected into the body. And I think the higher pouring bring out a little bit more liveliness in the broth.
Yeah.
Tea is fascinating this way. It's fascinating. Just one difference. It makes the tea feels different within one pot of tea. And yet still in my mind, I couldn't stop looking at Mr. Lai's tea, how well it's executed. You know? And so, I mean, before we started this session, I remember you want to talk about clarity of this tea. And after the tea shifted, it's harder for me to talk about clarity of this tea, because before it was obvious in the scent. It was clear, and the taste was clear and very clean. And now it become richer. So when the tea liquid becomes richer, that light clearness actually disappear, but it doesn't mean it's dirty. And so I've been thinking about how do I use this tea to talk about clarity of this teacher and of his teas. And it just, when I swallow this specific cup of tea, it strike me so big. It's precision in executing his tea. He touched his tea and you can see how it falls into your body, and it links so cleanly and so well together. There's almost no faults that you can find. And I think it's a form of clarity, and it just takes a lot of observation because it happened in the body. It doesn't happen in the mouth anymore. And for lots of you who are listening, it's like, what the heck are you saying? Just to be honest with you guys out there, I sometimes have no idea what the heck I'm saying. And maybe you guys think, well, did she just make this up? I won't say I make this up. It comes in the moment and I just blurt it out. I didn't make it up. And I will say that it's sometimes hard for me to translate my experiences. And I do my best to translate the experiences to hope that someday, or maybe sometime, some of you guys have this tea and you take a sip and say, oh, Showen, I know what you are saying. And there's a beauty in that. There is a beauty in that. Because tea connection is one of the beauties that I know what you are feeling exactly. And there's another beauty is when you don't understand, which, by the way, it happened to me so many times when I go to see those teachers. When they open their mouth, I was just like, what the heck is he saying? And what the heck is he feeling with this cup of tea right now? And the teacher just pull out one of the most mysterious and beautiful sentences that I couldn't put together. But you know what? It's the beautiful moment when I come back here and I drink one of their teas, and maybe one of the times I say, oh shit, I think it just happened. Not even 100%. I think I understand 20% of what they were saying. And that is their beauty too. Slowly understanding. I love those moments too. So this infusion, which way do you want me to do it? You order the tea brewer will do it.
do the low one again.
Low one. Yes, sir. I'm a tea brewing machine. And since this is Mr. Lice Tea, let's do it 100%. Almost 100%. Well, I cannot do it 100% is, first of all, he's bald, and I don't think in this lifetime I will be bald. Hopefully not. So...
What are you even talking about?
Second of all, he has much more deep practice in meditation that I don't have. So I don't think I'll be 100% that way. But I'm saying that in the technique, I try to imitate him today. How about that? Imitate his tea brewing. Rather than my guru teacher's Mr. Shen's tea brewing method. In the beginning, imitation is a good thing. When you are learning something, you actually imitate the person and try to even imitate the feeling and the energy. As we say, fake it until it's real. So I actually imitate their feelings sometimes. And that's how I learned to brew tea from the beginning. I watch how people brew tea. I capture a feeling of that specific tea brewer and I imitate them. And I think that's how children learn too. How to walk, how to talk, how to eat even, You start to follow other people's movements and then you can do it so well, then you can do your own movements. I don't even know what I'm saying today, to be honest with you. It's a bit loose. Or maybe this is one of the episodes that you can see sometimes tea drinking and floating leaf tea is loose. And sometimes it's very focused. Sometimes there's one specific thing just jump out. Today, it feels like this tea has multiple things jump out. First of all, I was thinking about the tea. Is it a light tea or a dark tea now? Oh, no, it's in between. Okay, how do I pour the water in then? And to notice the difference. And how do I teach clarity in this tea? Blah. And things just keep jumping out. Oh, I was imitating their tea brew. And there are like 5 things happening that I just throw it at you today. And now I'm sitting there just, too many balls thrown at me.
Yes.
I'm trying to catch the balls. Just one. Just give me one ball to catch. And even the balls are different. Sometimes it's a basketball. Sometimes it's a baseball. Sometimes it's volleyball.
At a certain point, I just drop all the balls and just try to drink the tea.
Don't drop the balls. Feel different, huh?
Yeah.
So this last infusion, not just I do it in the lower water, hot water into the pot. I try to follow up all the rest of the tea brewing with more of a Mr. Lai's tea brewing. And I'm not going to talk too much about that. I would just say that when I brew tea, I like the other teacher's method a little bit better because it seems to bring out more things. However, this last one, I decided to follow Mr. Lai's brewing a little bit more on a specific way. In a way, in the back of my head is trying to, I try to tell myself, well, this is the last infusion. Let's come back to the circle. And I actually didn't know what exactly that means when my mind started to think about that. And I think the tea broth today, the tea itself, is giving me a huge lesson today. I don't know how you feel about this infusion, but there is that feeling of Mr. Lai's calmness when he brews the tea finally for the first time show up in my tea brewing. I cannot explain to you that when we drink tea in his place, especially last time, so it will be last August then, because we could go back, and this year we couldn't go back. Last August, we had a long tea session with him. We drank very different oolongs with him, and they all taste very sweet and very calm. There's a roundness about his brewing that he can control the rhythm and the mind. And I tell you guys, we drank those teas fairly fast because I had to go up to Dongding after that tea session. But the way that he executed the rhythm was not fast. Now, when I'm in a hurry, you will see I'm in a hurry even when I'm brewing tea. And one of the teas which 2 years ago I already had challenging is when I bring it back, it feels like a different tea. And that specific tea, second crop, the new crop, when I brought it back, I was like, oh, shoot, it's that tea. I can't brew that tea. And I can never pour out that feeling that he had in his tea when he brewed it. And I think today, the tea is like trying to give me the moment and walk me through, because I have no idea why in the beginning I want to pour tea high and low. I was actually thinking about him. And in the last brewing, I was just like, let me just do exactly, try to do as much as he does. I think for a long time, I already make up my mind who I want to follow when it comes to tea brewing. But the thing is, I don't think I am Mr. Shen yet, not even close. And sure, I am fascinated with his brewing tea capacity. But I think the tea is trying to tell me there's a reason to use a different person's method because that is his tea. Try it again. Don't make up your mind that fast.
I needed a moment after that infusion to kind of collect myself. It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with this intense sense of anxiety for a while since this whole quarantine thing has been happening, and you know, when you're so quiet, things kind of pop out, and drinking tea is an interface with yourself. So I'm sitting with myself, right, and drinking this tea. The first 4 infusions, you know, I could watch the tea, taste it, the notes, feel it in my mouth, the way it's moving, even start to feel it in my body. But it was simple enough, at least to a point where I can articulate what's happening. Mm-hmm. I didn't quite know what to say with that last infusion. It
doesn't need to be said.
Well, what it felt like was it had this presence, and I didn't stop being anxious. But it had this presence of, as I drank it and just sitting there and watching me or sitting with me. Like I had this feeling that the tea, this sense of calm that's not my own, but it's,
oh wow,
it's in there with me. And then these thoughts or feelings kind of, as I took my time drinking that tea, started to not fade, but settle. So drinking that cup was almost like having a calm, compassionate person in the room.
Well, obviously it's not me. I don't know who you're talking about.
That was really beautiful.
There's something about it, right?
Yeah. Beyond what I really know how to say, you know. Not a physical sensation. It's not a taste or a smell.
No. And I don't think it's me. I don't think it's me who is doing that. That's why I just like the whole session today is like, I think the tea is trying to like walk me through something today. And maybe the tea is trying to say something different to you, but I think the tea is trying to walk me through something. Maybe a little bit different from your experience, but I just like, the whole thing is a little bit, confused, but I don't know why in the fifth infusion that I keep thinking about full circle, 圆满. And the 圆满 is different from Mr. Shen's like, let's give you a cup of mind-blowing 圆满茶. This is something come in a circle together. And my mind keep having that feeling. And I didn't know what it meant. I just didn't know what it meant at that time. But it's telling me 圆满. Yeah. Okay, people out there who have known this session is turning into something extremely intense for us again. That's life, huh? Yeah.
Well, what was so incredible about it for me was that I didn't stop being anxious. I didn't calm down. It wasn't like, oh, you drink a calm cup of tea and then you're automatically calm. I drink the calm cup of tea and then I feel that there's a calmness watching me or sitting with me. That's what I felt. But I didn't stop being, you know, me. Just pretty incredible.
Okay, with that note being incredible. I think we are going to close this session. Join us if you have time, and if not, watch the video Tuesday. Who knows what is gonna show up on Tuesday? I'm a little bit scared right now. I have to tell you, this session turns into a very, from the beginning, not super focused to in the end super intense tea session. In a nice way. I do like my tea session very intense, pretty much all the time. Yeah, just, you know, I know that in many ways, I think all of us are dealing with stress and anxiety. It's a difficult moment in our lifetime. So keep watching it, and sometimes allow things that you are practicing in life to help you to keep watching it. Step one always is not to get rid of it. It's actually to watch it, to know, to see. And then I think it will combine with what I have been thinking for a very long time now in tea. Clarity. I think it will be ugly though.
And so starts our month on clarity, July. Or August?
August. July, we already have programs. But so just keep watching this.
This is a preview for you.
Just keep watching the storm. Keep brewing and keep brewing.
Keep brewing.
Yep. And then I'm going to send in wind in August and shiny days in August to offer like clarity into our tea drinking. So drink good tea, people out there, and be safe. Take care of yourself. Anything that we can do for you, please ask. Yeah, that's it. Happy tea drinking. We'll see you on Monday again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.